as promised in the previous video. Here is the next video on implementing stack data structure without using arrays this time. For those who do not know what the previous video was, so in the previous video we implemented the stack data structure using the arrays. The link for that video is given in the description in case you wish to follow this most simplest method of implementing the same. So in this video we'll be implementing the stacks without using the array. We'll be creating our own data type called nodes. So let's quickly go and create the node data type. Node type t value which is of type t again, and it shall have a next value which shall be of type node, and it shall take an init function which takes in the value of type t, so that once I get that I can say self dot value is equal to value. To give a heads up on what stack data structure is, so we keep adding items to the stack. The only way to remove items from a stack is to remove the topmost item. Say I add 1, 2 and 3, so first I will have to remove 3 and then 2 and only then 1. I can push any element, I can pop only the topmost element, and I can peek to the topmost element in the stack, so that is called stack. Now let's go ahead and create stack class here which is of generic type t, and I'll have a top which is of type node, and my three functions called push that takes a value of type t, and my next function called pop that takes nothing because I'll have to remove the topmost element, so it removes the topmost element and returns t. I'm making this optional because there can be a topmost value or there might not be a topmost value, meaning the stack would be empty, so it is optional. And this I'll have to mention the type, so it's t, and the last function would be peek which tells us what is the topmost element. Again, this is optional. So starting with push, so what I'm basically going to do is each of my node will have a pointer to the node that is lying below that. So the topmost node will be saved as top, and the next pointer of the top will be the node which is below that. So what I'll do is once I get a new value, I'll have to make it the topmost node. So I'll first save old top value into a variable called old top, and then I'll assign the top to a new value that I've received by creating the node, and then I'll have to point this pointer of the new node to the old top. So top dot next is equal to old top, so this does the job. And then what will my pop function do is it will just remove the topmost element from the stack. So again I'll have to return the value of the topmost element, so I'll have to save it. Let old top is equal to top, and top is equal to top dot next, because I have to remove the topmost and my new top will be whatever was top dot next, and I shall return old top dot value so that we know what value was popped out. And peek is just going to show us what is the value of the topmost element. So I'm just going to return top dot value, as simple as that. Now let's go ahead and test this. I'll create a variable called my stack is equal to stack, and again here I'll have to mention the data type. I can use anything, that is why we go for generics. I am taking an example of int now, and I shall start pushing the values. Say classic example of 1 to 4. So 1 sits in the bottommost and 2 is on the top, and then 3 and then 4. Now when I peek, when I say my stack dot peek, I expect to see 4, because whatever I push at the last will be in the top. So when I say my stack dot peek, this should return value 4. Let's see what happens. There it goes. And say when I say my stack dot pop, it should again pop the topmost value, which is 4. So let's see what is getting popped. Yeah, 4 is getting popped. So after popping that, what would be my topmost value? Yeah, you got that right. It is 3 now. So let me pick what would be the topmost value, 3. And this continues. So you can do this until the end of the stack. So I'll just pop many elements, and and at some point of the time we have popped all the elements, then it would return nil. So here we see we are popping the last element of the stack, and we are trying to peek the topmost element of the stack, and thus it's returning nil. So if I again try to pop, it is not going to crash, because I've just handled the optionals. So it is just going to say it has popped the nil value. So this is so simple, just to reiterate, we are just taking the topmost, saving it in the variable, and taking the next value and putting it as the topmost value, and doing things like that. It's just like a age old or swap method, something like that. So this is all about stack, which we have implemented without using arrays. So, and yeah, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. It really encourages me a lot. And also like the video if you liked it, and do comment if you have any questions. Thank you.